Welcome back, everyone. It's time for some professional StarCraft 2. Set your watches for fun, because we have one of the most exciting matches you'll see from here to the end of the universe. Let me first introduce you in this best of 3 DreamHack Last Chance 2022 match. They're running out of time to qualify for IEM Katowice. It's not game time, but it's far past time that we cast in the bottom left, Showtime! Without taking any additional time to introduce in the bottom right, it's time for this Terran to show his worth. Will he take too long to lay on the aggression, or will it be just in time? It's time! Walling off with a barracks and a depot. Well, as one does. 2 depots, more specifically, in time for the probe of Showtime to make its way across the map. In fact, a pretty timely scout as well. I think off of that early pylon, which is about the earliest time you'll find a probe come out. For anyone but Zest, who, for Zest, the correct time is now. So, or never. Those are the 2 options, or somewhere in between. Showtime, on the other hand, is a bit more... You don't get nicknamed the Wall because of your dramatic, crazy aggression. Believe it or not. It isn't... And the Germans not known for their dry... Well, maybe their dry humor, but their puns and jokes. So it isn't an ironic nickname. He's just a very good macro player. Okay, he's just very good at knowing exactly what time to get his tech, and what time to expand, and what time to build up production, and what time to focus on economy. And now it's time for Showtime's Stargate. Will Time have time to react with Widow Mines? It's a 1.5 base Widow Mine play. He's boxed out the probe. He's boxed out the probe. I mean, with supply depots, which are quite a stable box. And Showtime knows shenanigans are afoot. But the Widow Mines will give away exactly how many feet he's going to have to be ready for. The Reaper going to make that shield battery work for its existence. Not very hard, though. Plenty of time to regenerate that energy. And time now with 4... Okay, we're playing some Minecraft here in this StarCraft 2 match. And of course an armory. This is... Showtime knows what this is. He knows what he's dealing with. Or at least the trajectory of possibilities. But does he know the trajectory of the medevac? It appears he knows exactly the trajectory of the... Okay, well, it doesn't get more clear than that. The medevac flying over, a couple phoenixes. Will he have time to pick up the mines? There is an armory on the way. It's not quite done yet, so he will be able to kill one, but the rest will remain cloaked. Oh, down goes a phoenix, and then you stop it. You stop that. You dick. The Reaper unable to leave, but there is still the cloak. The Widow Mines are going to, if he checks his clock for Time's mine, Showtime will be able to pull away with plenty of time for the probes to survive. But another drop. Check those watches once again, because it's drop o'clock. Oh, no. This is, oh, wait. How bad is it? Showtime's still with 38 probes. But about half of those probes just kind of hanging out because there was not enough detection to deal with the mines. But the Oracle, a revelation, Time's mines have now been put into timeout and will not be seen again. Another mine drop, though. He's just, I mean, Showtime once again not known for his heavy aggression. Time getting away with this, though. Has he done enough damage? His army is 1 Marine, 6 Widow Mines, and a Medevac. Oh, well. Which is... I don't know if that's so much an army as a... I was gonna say a minefield, but that didn't feel very creative, so... We'll just go with minefield still, because until I come up with something better, I have time. And so does he. Another drop! Oh no. The only thing not dropping right now is my voice. As the mines just slam into the probes. Okay, is this... I think he's winning. I think Time has now punched Showtime's ticket. And Showtime is being shown that it's time for the door. Yeah, you stop it! I hate you guys! And who doesn't with the mines? Showtime struggling. Every part of this game, every part. Right now, it looks like Time's breaking the wall, and I'm going to take some time to break the fourth wall and say that everything from my commentary to this Widow Mine drop style is one of the most painful things that has happened to me in recent StarCraft 2. So here we are. You probably, for at least a few moments, have plenty of time to like and subscribe if you enjoy the commentary, and if you don't, well, there's time for it to grow on you, so here we are. Showtime down to 46 probes. Time now actually has an army. Oh, and the Phoenixes are very aware of it now. We kind of stop for a moment. Is there any splash damage? There's +1 armor on the way. Charge is chrono boosted. Yes, chrono boosted out. Manipulating Time to defend against Time is Showtime, but Time is running in and Time is running out. As here comes the Marines. Combat shield. Charge done. Armor not. Shield battery targeted. Revelation used. He can see the mine, but he can't stop it. Gonna have to get the pickup. He gets the mine against both tanks. Hot pickup there. Is it enough, though? Can he actually take out the tanks? One will drop down, continuing to shell. The critical mass of Marines. It's too much. Targeting down the rest of the gateway units. Picking up the tank, dropping it down, will die, but the Marines do not. Showtime down to 62 supply. Okay, the stutter step a bit much there, but the second wave is rolling across the map. The bubulas will slow them, but not for long. Showtime now. He doesn't have any units that are going to get better with Time. In fact, against him, they're going to get even worse. As Time's infrastructure is growing, his upgrades are continuing, whereas Showtime has charge lots, a couple Phoenixes. These are not units that you invest in the future, but instead are a bit of a desperation move in the present. It is a little surprising to me that Showtime survived at all, but some good Phoenix usage has bought him a little more of his opponent. There's still no split. Oh, it's a big gamble. Showtime right now, his strategy is instead of transitioning to Colossi or to Templar or any of those other flavorful things. He's just going mass charge lot. His intent is to run over the entire army. He's been forced to take this massive risk. If Time realizes this is the army, all he has to do is sit in his base. In fact, he's starting to realize it now. He's still just sitting in his base, building some supply depots to make it that much harder for the charge lots to come sprinting in. Templar Archives is now on the way. Showtime has not built a probe in quite a while. He's down 12 workers. The army's moving out. This is about as perfect as it gets. It's still only +1 attack for Time. The army just moved out. The charge lots, now would be a good time to move in. Now this, halfway across the map. Beautiful timing from Showtime, but Time's time is now as he sieges up his tanks. The Guardian Shield gonna help. The supply depot drawing the charges. Makes it that much harder to close the distance. Widow Mines making things difficult. Time knows all he has to do is buy himself, because with himself he will be able to get the upgrades. That was too much? Too much. Unlike the charge lots, which are not enough. +2 attack is down. The Medivacs, the stutter step. Showtime is running out of steam. And it looks like it's time for game 2. A pretty comfortable victory. A bit of a disgusting Widowmine drop, I will say. That was a filthy build. That was one of those builds that you probably want to take a shower after, but unfortunately in StarCraft we don't allow shower breaks usually between the matches. There's no time for that. We got to go straight in to game 2. Those Widowmines just... And Showtime knew it was coming. But he didn't quite prepare for the magnitude of mines. And without revelation... Jimmy, can we go to the game? Oh my god. Now, is it cheese time? Is it macro time? It's definitely showtime. And that was what we expected to see. A defensive style looking to block his opponent from getting damage done. But time slipped through. It was just too much. And the Widow, like, all it takes is one mine. And you're going to have a bad time. Showtime far from fine. As he wasn't able to toe the mine. He should have taken that medevac as a sign. But the mines murdered probe kind. Probe comes in, gets to see the base. Key difference. No depot wall on the top of the ramp, nothing like that. No, at least early shenanigans afoot. How would you deal with that is a bit of the question. Like, the Stargate is on paper a solid counter. I think the real problem ended up being he didn't expect the armory and thus didn't have an oracle for revelation. He was going to try to just shut down the mines by negating the first drop and then just using the phoenixes to box out the medevacs. But the full commitment to the armory and the cloak mines was disgusting and effective. That's not something I think works twice, and it works extra well on Blackburn, where you have the shortest distance between the two bases is actually just flying from main to main by air, which is kind of unique in the map pool. Is that... Okay, I said we weren't going to go crazy, but then Time decided it's time for 2 Reapers and 2 command centers. Uh-huh. Well, this is definitely something. Is he... Okay, so 2 Reapers don't kill an Adept, but also the Adept can't kill them. Obviously, Reaper's not a great counter to Stalkers. I'm not entirely sure what the intent of the Reapers is. It'll keep Showtime in his base. I believe he saw him, but... Huh. I'm not 100% sure both Reapers were intentional. Sometimes a delayed Reaper is a choice just to get some scouting of what Cybercore tech they're going for if they're taking a third. But 2 Reapers is definitely a little weird. Based on the fact he sent the second Reaper back home, I feel like that maybe was one more than he intended on. Either way, though, it is 2 racks. It's a 3-2-1-1, it's looking like. But with a quick engineering bay for dealing with Stargate, which Showtime, big Stargate fan. Not this game, but obviously last one in general. Getting the turrets as well, because he's not going to have the factory, he's not going to have the mines. And he does have 3 CCs, so one thing you do usually have with 3 CCs is a lot of minerals. And that NG bay coming in quick. Where are you going? Okay. And a reactor next to it? Yep, just straight up 3-2-1-1. Usually more of a Terran versus Zerg build. But breaking it out here, a bunch of Marines and Marauders with a couple medevacs have been an effective strategy essentially since the beginning of time. This is a style we've seen since the beta. All those many years ago. And so much time has passed, but this match will determine if time will pass the qualification stage and make it to IEM Katowice. We will see. It is blank. There are Marauders on the way. There's not tanks, as you would usually like to have. But the Marine count with Stim on the way. If he loses Stim, well, this undercuts the entire attack. The building layout here is actually a little dicey. Snipes an SCV. Showtime going for the lowest hanging fruit. Gonna get the reactor, maybe? Just sniping units. Showtime is the least risky Blink Stalker player. Like, oh, there goes the Observer. He takes a tap on the... Almost too safe, in my opinion. Like, he may have been able to snipe Stim. Or whatever it was. Anything on the tech lab is good. But instead, he makes sure he doesn't lose any Stalkers and just blinks right out after sniping a few units. Time, on the other hand, is one of the riskiest players I've seen, as he just picks up many of his units into a medevac and loses the bunker at the front because he has no units to protect it. Didn't even attempt to repair. The Stalkers gun it down. Beautiful blink micro from Showtime. Sniping off Marines one volley at a time. He got 7 Marines and 2 Reapers, SCV, and a bunker. He has lost 0 Stalkers thus far. And throughout all this, he's been chrono boosting Storm, as well as adding on +1. Charge has started, but with Storm done, I don't see any mass bio play being particularly effective. Of course, Time went for that quick 3rd CC. And that means he isn't in the situation many Terrans find themselves in, going for this sort of composition against Protoss, which is fighting against a better economy Protoss player who already has splash damage. Because he went for the 3rd CC, Showtime's going to have his splash damage, but Time is going to be able to compete economically, especially once he gets that 3rd up and mining. Though he does need ghosts. Are those Widow Mines stuck? Or do they just like the spot? I'm not entirely sure. The Guardians of the Factory. We've all been there. Ghost Academy starts. No armory. I lied. He has an armory. Can start +2 attack. Showtime, on the other hand, also +2 attack. Robotics Bay, 2nd Robo, added to the production tab. And a warp prism towards the main. This is Showtime in his element right now. He is... Well, let's go to the Showtime cam. His vision isn't perfect, but he's working to fix that. He doesn't know exactly where the army is. Starting extended thermal lance. He's got 4 bases. He's got blink stalkers in the main to defend against doom drops. He's diversifying his splash damage portfolio. The one thing that is concerning is the lack of vision towards the direct front. But with the War Prism heading into the main, oh, and actually maybe even catching the mud. Oh my god, the Vikings. Well, that's not ideal. Yeah, he did kind of give away the Prism. Alright, I take it back. That was actually kind of a total waste. He knew that Time saw it. He killed the SCV building a turret over here. It's not like Time didn't notice. Then he just went in anyways, which was, you know, did not have a high percentage of success. So now, without a War Prism on the field, and with already Vikings and Ghosts in production alongside 2-2, Time has all the tools he should need to deal with Showtime's army. Of course, on paper, he might have all those tools, but in practice, the Protoss tools might end up being stronger. As if you're a little out of position, the storms land at the wrong angle, a lot of things can go wrong, and Time is going for the big commit. At least he has so far. We'll see if he splits his army. Some players, instead of ever trying to take a heads-up fight, they'll split their army into large enough pieces that the Protoss has to follow suit. Because they know they never want to take a full-on fight against the amount of splash damage that Protoss can bring to the table. But with 20 or so supply of bio splitting off, that could be a little dicey. Blink Stalkers, a medevac taken down. Wait, was that a Ghost evac? Working title. I think he had Ghost in the medevac. Great EMP. Shockwaves are done. Showtime working his way into the third, but caught between a bit of a rock and a hard place. Storms on the Vikings, but not enough to knock them out. A disengage from both sides. Scan. Spotting the army. Neither player willing to commit going through that choke point. Way too risky. The EMPs just completely negating a lot of the stopping power of especially Archons, but if they catch any Templar. And then, obviously, a Terran army doesn't want to go through a choke point into Colossi. The standoff. Blink Stalkers trying to work, but EMP plus Marauders equal less Stalkers. I can do that math. 3-3 already started. Time playing a real solid macro style here. But Showtime throwing some disruptors in the mix. They're spotted. Beautiful splits out of Time. A pretty huge concave coming up here. And Showtime may not realize he's the one actually being surrounded. Of course, disruptors can do some surrounds themselves. Where are the disruptor shots? The Colossi caught. A shot to the center. Misses the mark. Closing in. Time disruptors. Complete airballs there. And Time with a 270-degree surround will knock out all but 1 or 2 Templar of splash damage. Does he have the unit count to continue? That's 186 to 140 supply. One shot. Gets nothing. Those disruptors, they're very hit or miss in every single way. Another disruptor from the right flank. Oh no! Showtime. A surprising and uncharacteristic lack of attention to some of his most important units right now. Field battery overcharge getting involved. EMPs go past the front line all the way reaching back. Another shot. Oh no! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Shield battery overcharge plus 1 shot taking out the core of that army. Time forced to retreat, diving a little too deep and getting his heart exploded. I didn't have a better way to say it. Overstaying is welcome. It was time to leave when the shield battery overcharge popped, but he smelled blood in the water. But it was actually just him drowning. because you shouldn't smell anything, because you should keep your marine suit closed, because we're at 2,000 atmospheres far under the ocean. 174 to 150 supply. Both sides still have the economy. Showtime didn't lose any key parts of his infrastructure. He lost a very expensive army, and he can't do that again. But he held the attack, and he killed some ghosts as well. 9 ghosts have gone down. The Viking count is gone. Where did the Vikings go? They're no longer around, which means Colossi could be mixed back in, and the Disruptor count is getting so high, Liberators are not just a suggestion, they're almost mandatory. The Blink Stalker Disruptor is a unit composition Showtime was known for in early Legacy of the Void. It's kind of fallen out of favor because it is about as literal as you get with glass cannons. But they are cannons. Or even better because of their splash damage. So, time looking around. It feels like oh wow, the scouting disruptors are not. These are big mistakes. Oh god, blocks on top. EMP doesn't matter. Comes in from the left with the DTs, right with the Blink Stalkers. And at the end of the day, Time wants to close both eyes and look away because his entire army got slaughtered. Once again, diving towards the third, and once again, Showtime closes in on him. How many times is he going to make that mistake? Now, I would say that pretty much negated the loss of that first army. Until this point, until that army got cleaned up and sliced up, Time still had some pretty solid map control, because Showtime was rebuilding. He had a lot of key units back at home, but he couldn't go out on the map because he didn't have enough to protect them. But now he's maxed out, and he still has all his key units. He still has most of the Dark Templar. He still has most of the Disruptors. He still has his critical mass of Blink Stalkers, which he used to take out Time's base. Both sides are maxed out. But when it comes to map control, Showtime has a firm grasp of cartography at the moment. More Disruptor shots. 2 to the front, 2 to the side. Another one. Well, the Disruptors are getting caught. And suddenly more bio units. DT is nowhere to be seen. In like, not in the tongue-in-cheek way, but in the, where did the DTs go? The other way. Showtime now bringing his most high-damage units to the fight. The DTs are used to add that level of melee damage that Disruptors and Stalkers really can't reliably match. Of course, they are incredibly expensive, so you don't want to risk losing them. Nice Disruptor shot, but the Venn diagram of freedom means that any melee units closing in are going to get obliterated. But at the same time, blink and it's over. Down goes another base and 22 SCVs, the Blink DTs, unmatched on the right flank, whereas Time trying to break through, but Showtime is holding. DT's getting cleaned up. It looks like the turret plus Widowmine combination. 163 to 154 supply, but down to 4 bases against 6. The income tab tells quite a story. And Time's running out of time. He needs, while he can float, and he is floating his main, they're definitely walled in. Those mines are definitely walled in. Oh my god. I can empathize so much right now. 3 Liberators on the way. He has advanced ballistics completed. And if he could just bring his army to bear in a key location and force a fight out of Showtime, that's how he takes a victory. But Showtime now with the Blink DTs and the Blink Stalkers and the Disruptors and the Recall and the Shield Battery Overcharge, there's a lot of things to contend with. EMP, he EMPs his own ghosts. No, he EMP'd 2 of his own ghosts to get the DT. Was it worth it? I doubt it. I mean, maybe he didn't have a scale. The storm breaks him against the rocks. Purification Novas come out, and half the army's just gone. More of it still caught between that rock in an incredibly damaging hard place. The Nexus will finally be taken out. Showtime's army almost entirely without shields. The robotics facility and everything else, 13 probes alongside it. Time still has a very potent amount of units. And there's not that much splash damage aside from the disruptors. He's coming in. The storms will land. Most of the army is bruised and battered and one stim away from being dead. The medevacs are out of energy. The ghosts aren't much better. He picks up. Where are you gonna go? What's the plan? Where are you going? The observer sees it anyways. Time doesn't even know. And this could end in total disaster. The beachhead will be stormed and knocked down. The Liberators with it as well. One medevac full of units. The other two in full retreat. The Stalkers on the chase. The EMPs are good, but those shields come back. The Ghosts and Bio units never will. 150 to 166 supply. Showtime's still wielding his massive economic hammer and slamming it down. Liberators won't save him from this. The Stalker count is too damn high. There's still 10 gates, which is lower than I expected, but Showtime making good use of them. There's only one robotics. By the way, at some point he got a fleet beacon for, I assume, Tempest, but the ranged Liberators never really came together. As the DTs were able to keep time so far off balance, it looks like this time he's going to fall. Ranged Liberators, oh, doesn't quite find the sweet spot, though makes it very difficult here. A single Phoenix, oh no, it really feels like you should be able to hit it, right? Ah, a storm! Time's running out of minerals. He's got the Liberators, Disruptor shots, an opening volley. There are 7 disruptors in total. How many Liberators? 6. Most of them with this army, if not all. Only 4, actually. But the sheer amount of gateway units that Showtime is able to put out there. Time has one more shot. He's got one opportunity. Will he capture it? I think there was a storm on a Widow Mine. He's trying to flank around. I'm not sure who's flanking who here. Showtime is trying to outmaneuver Time, but Time is just kind of ignoring his armies. I don't think a base trade, well, they say never base trade a Terran. That became a lot less true when shield battery overcharge and recall began to exist. Time bringing back some bio. He takes out a base, but Showtime still is comfortable mining on the right flank. The army supplies are the only thing that's kind of close to even. The upgrades for both sides nearly maxed. Oh no! Disruptor flings out. Clips a couple Marauders, but the Liberators are just kind of wandering over the army. The Stalkers in retreat, the fadeaway shots. Meanwhile, another gateway army comes in. Time has nowhere to run. 200 to 133. What a game. But it looks like time is running out. Oh, but wait, another set of disruptors, a couple shots he picks up, he drops back down, blinks to the left, another shot, center mass, that's it, he's out, 2 Gs, get out. Showtime 1-1. This is a dramatic series. I'm glad I found time for this one. That was, it still looked like Showtime might break. But there you see why he's called the Wall. He was pushed back up against his bases with nearly nothing left. He was overrun on the field, but the Wall held. Well, it's time for the ace match. Nobody's sending workers out at the beginning of the game. That was a great game. That was 2 players, like, you don't always see that kind of exchange. This is going to come off as a sort of a backhanded compliment. But neither of these players is the absolute tier 1, like, favorite in every match. Though they're always a competitor. And it's when this level of players play against each other that I think you get the most interesting... Because there will be mistakes. There will be disruptors that end up wandering into the enemy. There will be bio armies that EMP themselves. There will be liberators that fly over the stalkers. But because they're both still so incredibly fast, there will be recoveries. There will be defense. There will be plays and counter plays. There's time for all of it. We'll have to see what they show this game. Oh, wow. Are you kidding? Really? Has he solved SCV RNG and gotten the S? He's trying to get it in the sweet spot where the probes can't hit it. Oh my god. Dun, dun. Dun, dun. No, it's not where... It's not... Okay. He dragged the probes down, which maybe... It technically blocks 3 mineral... It's not worth it. Yeah, it's not worth it. I don't know. Stargate. Oh my. He's doing it again. Wait, no, this is even greedier. This is... What? Apparently Terrans have decided... It's TVZ, it's a thing. TVT... I guess we're just going 3cc now. I guess... And I don't think the 2 Reapers were a mistake either. In that last game. The 2 Reapers are designed to keep Showtime stuck in his base for long enough that time gets away for a 3rd CC. Gets away with. Yeah, with a 3rd CC. It feels very greedy. Of course, the cleaning bot! Showtime wants to get dirty. Those cleaning bots just keep getting in the way. There are a lot of those, the little doodads and all that. So here comes the Oracle. He's got a turret on the way. The turret is obviously timed out for this. The turret finished about 5 seconds ago. Oracle comes in. Well timed. There's not enough Marines, but there are about to be, so I'm not diving on it. 5 Marines you need to comfortably deal with the Oracle. Technically, the Oracle will beat 4, though it's a little risky. What am I watching? I saw a lot on the minimap. It's just, he's just throwing all the shade right now. There's no turret at the natural. Oh, Showtime wants to kill him. There's not going to be stim. There's no turret. There's 4 Adepts and 2 Oracles. Does he need Moracles for this? Is this working? He gets 1. Okay. The Reaper Grenade is actually quite good here. Are we gonna end up at almost... Well, almost even is heavily in favor of the unit that can murder workers on its own. In this case, almost even heavily favors Showtime. Wow, that was actually kind of insanely close. 1 or 2, half a second either way could have made the difference. But Showtime does, well, yeah, he gets the better of it. He killed 13 Marines, and killing 13 Marines, not only did it allow him to kill workers, but it undercut a follow-up push as well. What's the big danger when you're up against a style like this? When you're up against this big bio play? The big danger is a critical mass of Marines and Marauders, drugs and guns. Too strong for too long. To hear Showtime tell it, at least. But whittling down the Marine count means that delaying this means he's delayed this push, and that means Showtime can get away with a robotic spec. He can get 4 more gates. He can get blink. He can get +1. And he can get all of those things before medevacs are out, especially if the starport is delayed by the Oracle. In fact, it wasn't even delayed. It just didn't exist, which is about as delayed as things get. He's just now building a starport minutes later than you'd usually see it. Even with this build. Without medevacs, I don't care how many Stim Marines you have. Maybe Marauders, but I don't care how many Stim Marines you have. Blink Stalker Colossus is going to shut you down. Like, Showtime already has a nice amount of probes. He's not going for extended thermal lens, so it looks like he's prioritizing his unit count. But even one Colossus is going to be enough to deal with this. This is such an uncomfortable situation for a Terran. I mean, he loaded in against a Protoss to hear some tell it, but Time's held his own. This game, though, is... And the aggression here with Blink finishing. 10 seconds on Blink and +1. It's not going to get easier, especially until the medevacs get out. He's getting 3 ghosts. And if Showtime was going straight for Storm like last game, or just mass charge lot like game 1, those 3 ghosts would be incredible. But he will scan, he will spot a Colossus, and those 3 ghosts became still good, but not nearly as good. Still pretty good. Like, it's always good. It's just... Like, instead of being MVP, they're like, I don't know, nominated for MVP. I don't know if they do nominations like that. I think I'm talking about sports. I'm not sure if I'm talking about sports. Do you guys like sports? Make sure to smash that like button if you like sports. Like, I don't like sports. You like esports, it counts. Loophole. Vikings on the way. Yeah, the Colossus, I'm pretty sure Tom wanted to attack with those first 3 ghosts. He wanted to shut down the army, or at least put on some pressure, as ideally Templar or Charge lots were coming in. But he scanned the Colossus, which was a little lucky. Did you know the Revelation also works on the cleaning bot? Wow, I didn't actually... Does it do that for all of the critters? Or? I'm not actually sure. Ah, a spy. That's why you gotta kill them. They could be used as spies against you. Very important. Showtime knew that earlier. A Dark Shrine, Disruptors. Time's just looking to max out. We're only 9 minutes in. But both players should be maxing out in a minute or so. Relatively passive, as Showtime was going for a lot of tech and economy, so he didn't really have the army to press the issue. And Time was going for a lot of army, but he didn't have a lot of tech. So he focuses on defending and getting economy. But it looks like the convergence will be soon, where they both have 4 bases. They both have as many workers as they could want. They both have about as much production as they're capable of supporting. They both have a solid amount of upgrades done, and even more on the way. Now is the time for Time and Showtime to see whose time it is and whose time is up. Showtime, probably the aggressor. Out on the map. You want to get as much time running away with Disruptors as possible. They're not really a defensive unit. They're more of a tactical withdrawal unit. Because chasing Disruptors is a recipe for disaster. Scans looking for observers here. Oh, the DTs! Before we even fight, the Deets will get involved. There's no turret! Oh, no. Will he kill it? He doesn't even have Blink. He doesn't really need it. Oh my god, the damage! Oh, terrible, terrible damage! Oh, eviscerating the 4th base. Oh, he shivs him. Before the battle even begins, Showtime with a decisive victory. Even if he loses the DTs, he killed 15 SCVs, he forced out multiple scans, and he killed the planetary. On top of that, the entire army came back. So now the map is open for the rest of the army to move through. Showtime bringing in another round of charge lots and deets, but the main brunt of the forces diving in towards the third. Time setting up a concave. He's been doing a great job of that this series. More charge. Oh no, he didn't bring any units back. No, come on. You can't select all army this one. You've got to hold the line. Oh, Showtime's making it so hard. This is one of those games that might end before we see a fight. Oh no. Time has to go. His time's running out. Showtime is shadowboxing him right now. He just can't get out of his base. With 80 probes and 5 bases, he can keep warping in a dozen charge lots and DTs every minute. Easily. The economy is just so good. The Eco Hammer is slamming home again. The Disruptors find their way through the Tetris maze that is the supply depots. I'm not sure who that's hurting or helping more. I guess it forces... Ooh. He's pushed him right up against his own command center. The charge lots actually come in from an awkward angle. Taken down by a lot of the bio. Disruptor shot, looking for the mark. Does not find it. Follows through. 2 more. Oh, curveball into the left side. But the Vikings chasing down the Colossi. The Colossi on the run. More DTs and charge lots chasing. Time will win the battle, but Showtime is still in pole position for the war. A lot of damage on both sides. But who can replace their army in a kind of an awkward turn of events? The way Showtime plays Protoss, you'd think he was more of a Zerg or a Terran. He just keeps replacing what he lost and coming back in for another round. He doesn't care if he loses this battle as long as Time is stuck in his base. The army's back in the right side. Significantly less disruptors, and by that I mean 0. Meanwhile, though, the charge lots from the left, he's becoming a little predictable. The thing is, what can he do about it? There's the Liberator count is high enough to contest. If they would stand still for like more than 3 seconds, 12 more SCVs went down. The army supplies are pretty close to even a single Disruptor in the mix. Liberator siege. Disruptor flies through. EMPs, center mass. Disruptors get the Ghosts and the Marauders. The Liberators are taken down. Vikings on deck. The Bio Army, another hit. Marauders are not nearly enough. There were more charge lots in the third. A single G. With 1.5 seconds on +3/+3. 1G. Game 3. Showtime. We'll move on. An unironically incredible series. A really fun series. Showtime just showing us that you can play Protoss defensively. You don't have to be a partially okay, don't offend anyone with this one. You don't have to be such a creative soul as Zest to be a smart, solid player. Yes, you can fill in the blanks. But it looks like time's up for Time, and Showtime showing us why he's so good. Thank you for watching and suffering through. Like, subscribe. There's plenty of time to watch more videos over here and all of that. Thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun, stay chill.